Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to a Friday Fire episode on A Better World with Adrienne. I am so energized and excited to drop in with you today about one of my favorite, favorite, favorite topics, Venus. And actually, right before I pressed record on this, I've been doing you know how obsessed I am with organization and holy habits and all of that. And something that I do is when I do deep work blocks. So this means single tasking. It's not multitasking. It's not, oh, I'm sitting down and checking email and checking my text. And it's like, no, I'm single tasking. So when I do these, I split my day into 1 hour chunks, and it's actually 50-minute chunks. So 50. I do deep work for 50 minutes straight, and then I force myself to get up, get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, and then I've been doing 5 to 10 minutes of playing the piano and singing and just it's really just been so nourishing and fueling my joy and fueling my art. And I actually did that right before I pressed record on this. I was playing piano and I was singing Loch Lomond, which is an old ancient Scottish tune that I used to play on the French horn. I used to play it in orchestras. I played it as a little girl, singing and playing the piano. And I was just like totally in my joy. And I was like, wow, this is amazing energy to bring to the Venus episode because Venus rules art and beauty. So I wanted to do this episode because I just got so inspired by the astrology, and I got so inspired because, this is a Friday Fire episode. Back in the day, I used to do a Friday Fire. I went live on Instagram every single Friday for I think like 2 years straight, something like that. It was like at least a year. Um, and it was like this format. My Wednesday episodes that I do every single week, they're like deep dive, long form. We set an altar. You know, do I have an altar today? Obviously, I have an altar every single day on my desk. And the one piece I do have for today is this fuchsia, bright, hot pink red rose. And I got this literally a few days before Venus entered Aries at the time of this recording. And it's a very important transit because Venus being in Aries, I mean, it's hot, it's fiery, it's the get up and go. It's a very unique, it's just like hot to the touch. It's like fire engine red. It's extremely loud. It's like I'm hot and you know it when I walk in the room because I turn heads is because I'm just like hot and I'm like oozing fiery, like sensual magic out my pores. That's Venus and Aries. However, this transit is so unique because Venus is about to station retrograde, and Venus is going to be retrograding in Aries and Pisces. If you want to learn all about that, go get my 2025 New Earth Astrology Guide. I channeled a whole bunch of stuff on that. I felt really inspired to do this podcast because they come out on Fridays, and every single person that's close to me, they always text me on Fridays and they're like, Happy Venus Day, because they know that this is basically a holiday for me every week. And you might be wondering, you're like, Adrienne, you already have a holiday called Sacred Saturday. I'm like, why do I only get to have one holiday per week? Basically, every day is a holiday. I find a reason to celebrate every single day. And if you didn't know this, every single day of the week is ruled by a planet. So there are certain activities and frequencies that you can play with, engage with, create with, heal with, grow with, all in this like frequency of each planet. Okay. So Fridays are the day ruled by Venus. So me as a Taurus rising, your rising sign, the planet that rules your rising sign is your chart ruler. That means it is the most important planet in your life. All right? That is the ruler of your life. That's like the head honcho. Do the other planets matter? Absolutely. We all get to have deep embodied divine right relationship with every planet, and we all have one planet that is our chart ruler. Mine is Venus. And so the day of the week that is your chart ruling planet is the most powerful day of the week for you. And, Fridays are Venus day. And so I wanted to share all about what I do on Venus Day. And basically, what Venus Day is to me, it's the day to worship the feminine. That's why this episode is called Venus Day: How to Worship the Feminine, because that's what I do. And we really are living in a quite strange and new time where the goddess is not, I think I'm going to call this How to Worship the Goddess, actually, because it is the goddess. It's both. On Fridays, I'm like, today's the day where we worship the feminine. Today is the day where we worship the goddess. Um, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, the goddess was revered. The goddess was worshipped. The goddess was honored. There was statues of the goddess everywhere. In the original text of the Bible, it was really deeply honoring of women and all these powerful, magical women. And then, powers that be got their hands on these writings and they wanted to be in control, and they realized, okay, the deep limitless creation power of the womb and the feminine and the goddess, and it scared them, and so they tried to squash it out. And so we transitioned to a time period where the goddess is not revered, is not honored in mainstream culture. I think it's way different in Europe. Like, one thing that I've said so many times is like, every time I've dated someone who's not American, I feel worshiped. I feel worshiped, I feel honored, I feel cherished. I feel like, wow, like they are treating me like a queen. And not that it's only America, but there's like a patriarchal pattern of like not honoring the feminine. It's very obvious. So, without getting too into that can of worms, this Friday Fire is I'm sharing four ideas for Venus. And you can use these on Venus Day for yourself. One thing I do want to share is that you do not need to be a woman to be, you know, honoring Venus, to be activating your Venus, to be expanding your Venus. Like, men have a Venus placement too. And there are so many, like, we all have male and female energy within us, okay? And there are people that have like male gender and they have more female energy. And there are people that have female gender and they have more male energy. Um, it's not about gender, it's about the frequency. And so we're tapping into the frequency of Venus. Okay, so let's talk about Venus. She is the goddess, she is the feminine. Okay, she's the priestess, she's the queen. Venus is the planet of love, beauty, art, and money. She's what we all want. And so on my Fridays, there are certain rituals I do, there are certain things I do. Okay, so I'm going to break it down into these four categories. Love. What can I do to honor love? What can I do to love the women in my life? What can I do to love the feminine in my life? What can I do to love the feminine in myself? It's all about love. I specifically, I haven't been dating super hard. Apparently, I've been asking my guides for like clues about my soulmate and to like, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready. Like, let's guide this thing together. Like, I'm ready to grow into the person, the woman, that I'm meant to be, to call in my divine union, to call in my divine counterpart. And so it's kind of just like been rolling around in my field. And I used to only go on dates on Fridays because it was Venus Day. And of course, I didn't tell the people, like, hey, you can only take me out on Friday because this is the day of love. And I want to go out on the day of love. But that's honestly what I wanted. I wanted to go out on the day of love. I wanted to be in my deep monk mode on Sacred Saturday and Sunday. I wanted to just like go to the gym and sit down with my calendar and have a clean house and have be deeply prepared for the week ahead. Um, so love, it's a day to celebrate love. It's a day to expand love, okay? Beauty. What can you do to make your life more beautiful? What can you do to adorn your temple? On Venus Day, I go shopping. I go shopping and I do not hold back. And here's the thing, before and even now, because no matter what level of income or resource that you are stewarding, there are budgets and there are financial plans. Like, I'm not going to literally spend all the money I make on adorning my temple. I have other things like, basic human needs, my business expenses, my savings goals, like all of these things. So I do have a specific, I allocate money to beauty. I ordered organic lip tint. And I ordered it and I was like, that's so Venus and Aries. Like, that's something I normally wouldn't do. My Venus is in Virgo. It's very like, Virgo's just very, very about like pure, it's very pure and natural beauty. Like, I don't wear a ton of makeup. The times where I wear makeup are for photo shoots and when I want to just like be total mermaid and like paint scales on my face. Um, but Fridays are a day of beauty. So, what I was going to share is go shopping and try on all the clothes that make you feel beautiful. Okay, I used to go to Dior. I used to go to Louis Vuitton. I used to go to all of these huge stores like 5 years ago in downtown Chicago, and I literally had no money to spend. And I would walk in there like a queen because I am a queen. I've always been one. And I would be like, I want to try on that, and I want to try on that, and I want to try on that. And I would get like a bubble water, and I would just try on clothes and just celebrate beauty and celebrate my beauty. And it was so fun. And it activated my wealth frequency as well. But especially as a Taurus rising, like the rising sign is the cells of my body. Like, if I'm not activating Venus, like I will be not as beautiful. I will not be as healthy. Like, it's very, very important. So that's something you can do on Venus Day is how can you adorn your temple? How can you honor beauty? How can you make your life more beautiful? Like, I always get fresh flowers and just little things like that. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Like, maybe you get like this really gorgeous candle that you've been walking by like 3 weeks for 3 weeks at this store that you go to, and you're like, you know what? It's Venus Day. I'm gonna get the candle. I'm gonna burn the candle. I'm gonna bring beauty into life. Also, a great way to do the beauty is to get out in nature. Mother Earth is very connected to Venus. Why? Because Mother Earth is very Taurus energy, fixed Earth, ruled by Venus. Okay. Love, beauty, art. And this is what I was talking about with me singing and playing the piano. Venus is all about art. And as creators, builders of a better world, we are all artists. We are all life artists. And I call myself a life magician because I'm literally making magic with life every single day, all day. It's like I'm like BFFs, teammates with spirit, and we're making magic and making miracles. And my one job is to be the grounding place for them. My one job is to heal and be in joy and follow the ideas that are given to me. And For example, this podcast, I was like, oh yeah, duh. I was like, am I gonna do a Friday Fire this week? I don't know. And then I was like, all of this Venus energy was coming in, and I'm like completing the Holy Habits Hive Mind, um, like like last day that people can apply and like officially opening the space, like totally sealing it up for the next 6 months and like transitioning. And all this Venus energy was coming in with Venus and Aries. And I was like, oh, like this is art. Like, I'm going to make art. What's my art going to be? I'm going to make this Friday Fire episode all about Venus because I'm obsessed with Venus. And I want to share about her and I want to teach about her and I want to help other people honor Venus on Fridays. And yeah, so art. Where can you show up in your life as an art, as every single day is a blank canvas to be painted on? You know, you can take this very, very literally. Maybe you lean into an art form on Fridays. Maybe you go to a dance class. Maybe you do a painting class. Maybe you go to a pottery class. I actually have on my list, I want to do pottery again. I haven't done that since a long time. And it was so fun. Fun fact, the last time I took a pottery class, I spilled water on the machine in the first 5 minutes of the class and I shorted out the whole electric circuit for the building. Maybe that's why I haven't gone back. But yeah, just how can you make art? Because life is art and Venus is art. It's like do it for the art. It doesn't need to be like so practical, you know. This is the Venusian energy. And then the final piece is money. Venus is love, beauty, art, and money. And money is one of the most charged topics that exists. You know, there's a lot of, and it ends up being one of the most important things I work with all of my clients. And it continues to be one of my greatest teachers because we live in a world that has so much programming around it. And it's like there's all of these myths going like money's the root of all evil, and like how spiritual people have all this weird stuff come up when they start charging for their gifts. And I always say, if you want to have a spiritual awakening and heal your money, start a business because all your money shit will come up right away. The moment you tell somebody about your stuff and then they're like, how much is it? And then literally all of your money stuff will come up. Well, guess what? You can tap into Venus. I do a money date every single Friday because money is a relationship, just like anything else in our life. And so on Fridays, I do a couple things. I go get cash out of the bank. And depending on, you know, what's going on in my reality, it's like sometimes I'll get $50 and I like getting big bills because it feels good. It's wealth, right? And I am in the game of stewarding and creating new earth wealth. Why? Because when we have money, we can change the world. Love will never win without money. And this is the one of the biggest gaps that I see in new earth is the resistance and avoidance and lack of responsibility and healing that most of the spiritual community will is not doing about money. Because staying broke, you can't share your gifts. You can't pour from an empty cup. That's an old paradigm. You know, a lot of people took oaths of poverty in past lives. That's all stuff we got to clean up and change. So I do two things. I go to the bank, I get out cold Queen cash, baby. And I get 50s or hundreds because it's fun. For a while there, I was getting out 555 every single Friday, and I was like putting it in like different books around my apartment and doing all this and doing all that. And like it just was so fun. It's just so fun. Money magic is so fun. And it really exposes your relationship to what it is to be provided for by creator. Um it's incredibly intimate. So on Venus Day, I go get cash because That keeps me in intimate relationship with money rather than numbers on a screen. Okay. I'm not interested in being at the mercy of numbers on a screen. I'm interested in a divine relationship with the frequency of money and cash and abundance and opulence and prosperity. And the other thing I do is my money date. That's when I sit down with my special money journal and I look at all of my accounts. And I'm like, okay, this much in personal checking, this much in personal savings, this much in business checking, this much in business savings. And then I do my allocations because Fridays I pay myself. I'm like, okay, we save this percent stays in the business, this percent goes to my personal inflow account. And then from the inflow account, I have like different percentages within that. Like, okay, this percentage goes to personal bills. This percentage goes to play and fun. This percentage, which play and fun includes my shopping money that I was talking about earlier. And it just feels so good to show up for my money. And the times that I have not done my Venus date, I start getting leaky energy in my money and I start making less money. And the times when I am really always doing my money date, then I'm always creating more wealth. It's just like if I'm dating somebody, why would I expect them to keep coming if I ghost them? If I ghost the date, right? So those are the four things that I do on Venus Day. And it's all with um to connect with these different aspects of Venus because she is the planet of love, beauty, art, and money. So I hope this was fun for you. I would love to hear how you're going to play with Venus, what she means for you. If you know your Venus placement, you can reach out to me on Instagram Messenger. You can also email me. And yeah, beyond that, I'm doing something really cool. I'm doing a class called Venus Volume. Okay. This is one of my signature cosmic cellular breathwork classes, but it's about a planet rather than like I've done all of mine for, we have like Gemini Genius, we have this, we have that. We're going to do one all about Venus. And it's going to be on Friday, the 14th of February, which is a Friday, and it's also Valentine's Day. We're going to come together, we're going to worship the goddess, we're going to learn about Venus. I'm going to teach on the specific placement so you can come learn what your unique placement of Venus means for you. And then we're going to do breath work to code it into our bodies to activate our love, beauty, art, and money, which I'm just so excited about. So the link to sign up for that will be in the show notes. The final price is gonna be over $100. It's gonna be on early bird for a little bit, and I might even have a little, magic for podcast listeners in there because I just love you all so much. And you do not need to be a woman to come. In fact, like I really encourage men that want to connect with Venus to come if you want to, learn how to worship the goddess within yourself and for the world, like definitely come to this class. Like you get to activate that energy in yourself too. Especially in this time where there really is a war on the goddess. And so much suppression going on with the feminine. It's just really important to tap into this energy. So that's what I've got for you on this Friday Fire. Reach out to me, let me know how this landed. Get your booty in the Venus Volume Masterclass. The whole idea is that we're cranking the dial up on your Venus. So if you want more love, beauty, art, and money in your life, then this is the class for you. And if you want to do it new earth style with breath work and with astrology, this is the class for you. You can get my New Earth astrology guide, which I'm channeling all my astrology for the whole year in there. If you want to combine both of them, I have a February bundle in there as I'll put in the show notes. And then finally, if the topics on this episode excited you and you want to go way deeper, I have one space available for one-on-one mentorship. So I will leave that in the show notes as well. All right, beautiful people. Have an amazing Venus day. Um, I hope to see you in the Venus volume class and go out there, be the change, be the light, be the real you. Make a stranger smile because it charges the whole field. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.